Welcome back to the Minifig Maker. It's been a long time, guys, and I really miss this. I have more information on where I've been coming, along with some exciting news, but that's for another time. For today, we will be looking at my new and also some updated figures inspired by the Percy Jackson The Olympians TV series. This includes 3 new figures, 4 updated figures, and 4 new armor kits for those updated figures. I'm excited to show you all this, so without further ado, let's get right into it. We'll start off with our main trio, with the new iconic outfits for them. So first off, we have our main hero himself, Percy Jackson, son of Poseidon, as Walker Scobell plays him. The first thing you'll probably notice right away about this figure is the painted green flannel that I made. You can see it wraps all the way around the torso, even on the sides, and the pattern is continued on the arms. Painting this was an actual nightmare for my eyes, but I broke it down into small parts for each shade, so it wasn't as difficult as it could have been. You'll also see I painted the detail of his t-shirt and plain leather necklace underneath with a little bit poking out painted on his jeans. I essentially just copied my old version of the jeans and iconic blue Vans from the last showcase, but without the shin guards. And you can get a better look at the Vans over here and see that the detail wraps around all the way around the leg. I also gave him a custom built Master Bolt piece, which I'm actually really proud of how it turned out. And it's a fairly simplistic build too, with only a lightsaber hilt piece and 2 horns for the ends of the bolt. And you can also see him displayed with the Riptide here. As I've said earlier, I painted Riptide actually. I made a custom painted bronze piece over a originally black Lego sword, and I also painted on the gold rivets and a little trident detail. This might not be as accurate, but I like it. Next is Annabeth Chase, daughter of Athena, as portrayed by Leah Savay-Jeffries. You can say I painted her bronze knife and her Yankees cap, and also for her coat, I gave her a custom fur piece. The hairpiece is also custom because it was originally Valkyrie's hairpiece, but I added on NDC clay and sculpted on other bits and details so that there would be a longer hairpiece. There's detail on the pockets of her jacket and the denim shirt sleeve on her arms. You can see that on the Yankees cap, which was originally a blue cap, and I just painted on that. Additionally, I gave her a custom-made satchel, and you can see that I gave her her denim shirt with the beads and her college ring from her dad, and also the shirt on the back has a bunch of different mixed colors. And I gave her her Jordans, which I'm pretty sure she got for her birthday on set, which I saw in a Riot Inverse report video, except I didn't check the ref for the colors. And you can see that I also painted a custom mixed olive and brown paint for her cargos, and I'm really proud of how it turned out. Even though some parts of it might not be as accurate, I still think that the majority of it looks pretty good, and it is one of my favorite figures that I've done, or at least for this showcase, and I hope you guys like it too. Next is Satyr Grover Underwood, played by Aryan Simhadri. I was really excited about this casting, and I'm also really excited to see him in the show. For this figure, I made him in his blue rain jacket, which I painted all the silver detailing, including of his pockets and his zipper on. I also painted his cargo shorts with a custom tan and a custom brown color, and made Hermes' winged shoes. You can also see I used a custom painting technique I learned for his goat fur, which I learned from my friend at My Blueberry Designs. And I also painted a golden binocular piece for his iconic reed pipes, which hopefully we'll see later in the show. And for his tin cans, I used a custom soda can piece and a silver stud. If I move the figure this way, you can see that his detail of the wings on his shoes continues all the way around, and the red is painted all the way around along with the shoelaces and the soles of the shoes, which I think this part of the figure was one of my favorites to do. I don't know if you can see it, but his hair is also custom painted, and I used the piece for Ned's head, and I just added that so that way he has his scared face also. Now for the first updated figure, Percy Jackson in his camp outfit. This time, instead of giving him the jeans with the shin guards, I gave him the proper jeans, and I put more detail of his cut t-shirt sleeve and also his skin tone for that neckline, because before it was just an orange base body. Aside from that, it's pretty much the same thing, and I'll just let the figure speak for itself. Next up is my armor kit, which I made for Percy. I saw this in the trailers and I went, oh, those are going to be iconic. Not only is it iconic, it was also really fun to paint. You can see I painted all of the bronze detailing, the brown of his leather, and the blue streaks on his armor that identify him as on the blue team. I gave him his shin guards, his shield, his kilt, even the streaks of blue on his back that you see in this photo from the Variety article. And wait until you see the Luke armor kit, because there's a cool trick that you can do with his shield. Naturally, the next figure is Luke, son of Hermes. The first thing that I had to update when prepping for this video was his hair and his t-shirt sleeves. Originally I thought he would have cut-off sleeves like the book says, but the trailers now show him with a full t-shirt. Another thing that was different was that the trailer shows him wearing cargos, but I originally painted this before, and I gave him cut-off jeans as the book shows. I also painted the white scar on his face, and I tried to use a custom face that I think looks somewhat close to Charlie Bushnell. Spoiler alert for later in the book, and probably later in the show, I painted his other sword, Backbiter, made of half steel and half celestial bronze. You can see him displayed with it here. Next, I had to make an armor kit for him because it's an iconic scene for his Capture the Flag outfit. I made sure this time, instead of painting it in leather, to paint one with bronze and silver detailing, along with a custom mixed dark copper color that you can see on the inside to give it some texture. You can also see I painted the blue streaks on his armor, and I gave him this shield piece with the blue V shape to show that he is on the blue team. As you saw before, this kit includes a removable helmet, breastplate, and wrist guards, and kilt. You can see that the texture of the bronze with the painting of his rivets and the bronze and silver detailing on the back continues all the way around, and even on the top of his helmet with the horsehair plume. And now, in order to show you the cool feature for his shield that is the same for Percy's, I'm going to remove him for a second and remove his shield. So there's detail on his wrist cards. You can see the detail of the leather on the inside and the metal on the outside. And the actual cool feature that I was talking about is that you can take this dish piece off and you can replace it. So if I get the piece for Percy's shield, you can actually replace it, and that way you conserve a part. This feature is different than Clarisse's shield, obviously, because Clarisse's was just an old Captain America part that I painted the bronze and red on. Finally, now you can see there's all of this texture that I painted on over the silver, the bronze, the leather straps, all of it. This next figure is my updated version of Annabeth, and there's not really much to be seen here. Again, I painted on that little Pegasus logo for every single figure that has a camp t-shirt. I maybe should have just done stamps, but, you know, at that point I was just done with it. I did not really change that much for this figure. The only thing that might have changed was her necklace and this piece for her bronze hunting knife, because I find that this piece actually looks more accurate to the ones in the character posters. Again, one thing that I maybe should have changed was the colorway for these same Jordans that I did, but I did not think of it, and here we are. You can get a better look, if it'll focus, at the Pegasus, which has all that painted texture, but that's pretty much it. Of course, she comes with an armor kit, which was very similar to the one from Luke's. As with all of these other custom armor kits, this one comes with a removable breastplate, wrist guards, and kilt. Again, just like Luke's, you can see that she carries the same silver and bronze texture as you can see in that promo photo, and instead of a bronze mainly kilt, I gave her a mainly silver kilt, which, again, I didn't realize that they would all be leather kilts, but, you know, I think it still looks pretty good. Again, she also has the rivets on the tops of the shoulder plates and the leather straps, and you can see there's one difference between these two, is that her stripe goes one way, while Luke's goes another way. Overall, I'm very proud of how these armor kits have turned out, though, and they were, again, as I've said, one of the most fun parts about this showcase. The last figure is Clarisse, daughter of Ares, and she looks pretty much the same as last showcase. I didn't give her an armor kit because she was already sculpted armor, but there are still a few updates. You can see that I changed her armor's paint to be the silver and bronze weathering like you see in the show. I painted the bronze-tipped spear and her wrist bracelet, and her shield has texture similar to the actual thing in the show. I also used another cool technique where you flick droplets of copper paint onto the bronze to give it more texture. Finally, you can see, if I remove the shield and spear, I gave her the Valkyrie headpiece along with this hairpiece because I think it resembles Dior Gudjon pretty well. And that's the last figure of this showcase. Well, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you all for watching until the end, and as your reward, I'm gonna give you guys an update on what happened. I'm a film director now. I have a video in the works with more details, but until the actual film is released because it's being used for a competition, I probably won't have that video ready. Subscribe for more content like this. I make LEGO figures based on characters that I like as frequently as I can, and the next few are actually going to be some DC Doom Patrol inspired figures. Anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and remember, good art takes time, so never stop creating.